those problems can go with this. And these are issues that this project is trying to address or compare and see how to go about it. So I'm happy to be amongst
long-term investment to see the outcome of this. And this is a complex work, complex research that takes the monitoring, it takes time to see the difference in all these parameters and quantify them to see which one is not with a fixed mind of this system should beat the other, and let the research outcome lead us, and the facts lead us to what is the right way. I think if I give you an example in grass bacteria coming together, control disease, pests like stingwort. They control strider and other pests. They improve all the soil. So that type of system, which is basically an organic system, it's a low tillage, zero tillage, makes a difference. So we have fields that last 20 years, that are 20 years long. We have also farmers that are fields to monitor soil biota and to monitor also the carbon content, many different things. So we are learning a lot from this. So this type of long-term work, which this project is not only going to educate us, researchers, public, so I really look forward to hearing about the results so far. 6 years is a relatively short term for long-term research. Donors that I have so they are very proud of them, and I know that they are in this because they want to see it. So communicate with the public also some of the results that we have. I think the media, we have to put the media as our partners, because they are the ones.
Was due to the climate, the dry condition of the area. There is rapid turnover of soil, organic carbon in the soil, organic system. We have cation exchange capacity, such as potassium. Potassium is a nutrient taken by plants, again from the 3rd year going. So that is the trend, and the same trend was observed at Tika, genetic system of the plant cell, which build up the cell wall of whatever produce we are producing. And they are vital, except year 1 at Tika, as we have presented to you. 2, maize beans intercrop in the low input system, which represents the farmer's practice. Yield, this will continue or change. We need to follow the raise income of small-scale farmers. Organic, under proper management, organic agriculture has a role to play. And therefore, the notion.
The heat will be, you can see that the temperatures are very high because the compost is freshly done. You can see the smoke. So the compost is, fields that are outside here, they are mixed together. And another 3 weeks until we finish the process of 3 months. By the time the 3 months are over, the temperatures will have gone to the peak. Just to make sure that the microbes that are, the microorganisms that could be dangerous to the crop are 2 months, 3 months. They now transfer the manure directly to their farms. So in a way, that it is a composted sort of manure. So this is where we start. Yeah, our farming system comparison starts at this particular point. I know there are some who are already doing research that also compares the livestock aspect, but for our aspect of our comparison, we do not have that comparison
At all.
No, this is freshly prepared. I think it was done last week.
But do you turn it?
Yes, we turn it every 3 weeks, the process of decomposition.
Watering?
Sorry?
Watering. How frequent do you do it?
Yeah, watering, we actually use some white sort of covering. Then it tells you that your compost does not have enough moisture. So then you water it, just to ensure that you don't overwater. Yeah?
Is there a particular way you've layered the
Yes, there's a specific way of layering the materials. We start also dry materials. In this particular case, we are using stover because we're just recycling what we get from our system. So we start with the dry material.
Setting up the compost.
Actually, for in our case, it's just availability. Yeah, like in this particular area, lantana is the most common thing. You find it in the bushes around here. So that is what the farmers use for their hedging, because this comes from a mixture of cow and goat. So it's somehow slightly richer in terms of nutrients, but the chuka one is from 0 grazing units. So then you find that it has a bit more of woody materials, and slightly the nutrient levels are a bit.
This plot, I see that you have probably planted 2 seeds per row. So this is only for low?
Yeah, this is the organic system may look like it's a bit lower at the moment because it comes like, it has a slow start but picks up at a stage of silking and, grain filling. And
The maize from organic, does it have a better nutritional value than the maize from conventional?
We have measured the normal nutrients, the nitrogen. We actually take, we have actually analyzed the so we sample every match, we have get a trend of how it has water retention capacity. 120 kilograms of N, the biomass per hectare.
Of N, not
Of
the,
N.
Not the fixation.
No, of N. Because we did not assess the fixation rate. Yeah? But at Chuka it was like,
So you are kind of
Das, wo vielleicht ich mich würde fragen, wenn ich jetzt das wirklich als Grossbauer, weißt, als industrieller Bauer müsste übersetzen.
The soil with good structure, because it was a virgin land. It is a scenario where the soil was having good soil texture. So all those a good amount of soil carbon, and that's why you have not put amount of carbon here, because the carbon is not in the soil. So now this tells you where. And we have ash and
Why did you want to show us that?
40. Yeah, you can see it's smoking.
It's smoking. Wow.
40, 50.
Yeah. So when it stops smoking, you know it is cooked.
You know now it needs some water.
But of course,
some water.
The outside here.
of course, outside here. That's why we need to turn it over.
Yeah, you keep it over.
A draft, and right now we are in the consultation stage. We have to consult with many stakeholders. The county system has come in, and we have to go to the counties and consult with them to see whether they can buy into this form of farming as an option among the many that already exist. Farmers are shifting towards organic farming because in Europe there is a big market for organic farmed goods. Farmers get a good premium for that, and many of our farmers here who get certified to produce organic certified products for the European market get compensated for that, and it's lucrative. So you find more and more farmers are getting attracted to that. A good case in point is like macadamia in Kirinyaga area. Many farmers are going into that because the prices are very, very good compared to the conventional one. And in this state where agriculture is kind of weak and farmers are looking for something to sustain their livelihoods, of course that's a very attractive kind of option for them. And as you have seen today, in the long run, it improves your soil fertility status, so you're really not losing. Of course, there are challenges with control of pests and diseases here and there, and it's an expensive way of farming as far as that goes. But on the whole, it's lucrative for farmers, especially when it's a cash crop-based organic farming. There needs to be education. There also needs to be a push for market differentiation. If you go to any of our markets today here in the country, except maybe in high-end supermarkets, maybe Nakumatt, Nairobi, or those kind of supermarkets, you won't find an organic produce area where there are markups for organic produce. You go to Tuskys even today, there's no organic produce shelf. You bring your organic, I bring my conventional, it's put on the same shelf. That differentiation needs to be there so that the farmers who are doing organic farming can be compensated for their effort, because it's not easy and it's not cheap to produce organic. So they have to be compensated for that, for it to be economically viable for them. So that is one thing that should be done, that market differentiation. The market differentiation will only come with certification, because the consumers want to know, although you claim yours is organic, how do I know it's organic? There has to be a set of standards that the farmer needs to maintain for it to be continuously certified. And that certification, although certification standards are there, they need to be made affordable for farmers so that more farmers can be encouraged to do that. Right now, the problem we are having with a lot of the produce is that certification costs are very, very high. And so although I may produce organic, I may not have money to pay for the certification, and therefore I am not able to sell a certified organic, which is where the money is. Yeah.
So how much would it?
It's in like 70,000, 80,000, you know, it's quite a lot of money. And where it has happened, you have a body either volunteering that kind of money or deducting that money from farmers after they produce over a period of time. There has to be an organized way of trying to, there needs to be, the organic agriculture policy needs to be based on facts. There need to be comparisons between the organic way of farming and the conventional way of farming, whether in terms of the prices of inputs, whether it needs to be at the quality of the inputs and what they're doing to human health, what they're doing to the environment. That comparison needs to be there for us to know that organic is really the way to go or not the way to go. And that organic agriculture policy should come up with clear justifications as to how organic agriculture is comparable, even superior to other ways of producing. Let me also quickly add that organic agriculture policy also needs to come up with ways of putting, what can I say, ensuring quality of inputs. For example, if you tell me your fertilizer is organic, is it truly organic, or did you just go and maybe make a solution of CAN and then call it organic? There needs to be a standardized way of producing organic inputs, whether they are pesticides, whether they are fertilizers, and there needs to be a way of policing and truly making sure that they are organic for us to be sure that when we put them in our crops, they are safe. The stage at which the policy is at just requires a little push in terms of funding to do the stakeholder meetings, and then it's given to the cabinet to start looking at that. And of course, it can go quickly after that. It has to go to cabinet, and then after that it goes to parliament. It's debated upon and then passed on to the president to assent. So I think we have moved a long distance. Where we are stuck, if you get some little money to unclog us, it can move and maybe even be in place before this trial is over. I think at best, if everything were good, maybe within a year or two, it can be in place. Yeah, because the document is already there.
It has been ongoing for some time now. I think we started the process in 2009. We are making good progress. I know it's taken long, but initially the idea was to get buy-in from the government and for them to see that organic agriculture is an important component, not only for food security, but also environmental conservation. And one of the challenges we have found with the policy support is the kind of evidence-based advocacy that we are seeing from today's results. And that's why as COAN we are part of the steering committee because we really wanted to develop science-backed finding to support why organic agriculture needs to get more policy support. And not only is this research finding, but even in the conference you had, there was a study that was released about 2 years ago on the soil fertility study throughout Kenya, where it was found that actually none of the soils collected from the 47 counties have enough carbon to sustain production of soil. So when we look at all these studies coming out, they are leaning towards more and more scientific support for organic agriculture, not only for building soil fertility, organic carbon, but also environmental conservation. And also showing us really that our soils are quite degraded and we need policy support to we need policy support and decisions that are coming supporting the findings from the scientists. So like now when the study on soil fertility was released and the government said that they were going to subsidize fertilizer, synthetic input, for us we thought that policy decision was twisted, because what the results were showing is that the soils don't have enough carbon. What we needed to say is we are going to train our organic extension officers on organic agriculture, build the capacity of farmers on organic agriculture so that we build our soil carbon, and in turn we can be able to have more food from the same area of land. So we are very happy about these study findings, and we think that this will help us a lot in the fast tracking of the organic policy. Where we are at in the policy process is that there's currently a draft organic agriculture policy, which is domiciled with the Ministry of Agriculture, but we are big collaborators with them. But what has happened is that because of the new county system brought about by the new constitution, we have to take it back to the counties to consult with the county policy makers, because remember, counties are the implementers of national policy. So we have to have buy-in. And I can tell you, we've visited some counties and they are very, very keen on organic agriculture. We were in Busia County about 2 weeks ago, and they're actually starting up a factory from their county integrated development plan. They've budgeted for an organic fertilizer factory in their county integrated development plan. And we are working, we want to see whether we can work with them to build their agriculture officers on organic agriculture. So we find if we go that way, not only will we have a national policy, but it will easily be implemented at county levels, and that is where there's a slight delay. Once we are through with that process, we think that the organic agriculture policy will be adapted. But importantly, the nation is developing a national agriculture policy. You may know that Kenya was operating on a, how do I say, for lack of a better word, a kind of verbal agriculture policy. We didn't have an overarching agriculture policy. It's now been done, and we had the opportunity of integrating organic issues within the overall agriculture policy. So we are using a double-edged, a standalone organic policy as well as a national policy. Yeah, and really our main role in this study was really also expertise in terms of localized input on organic agriculture, being the national sort of representative organic stakeholders sort of forum. So we were there not only to give professional input, but also to support farmers with market linkages for their organic products. We do a lot. We have organic markets in Karen, Westlands, some of the embassies where we link farmers directly with consumers, and consumers are able to get their organic produce from farmers who grow organic products. Not only is this good for farmers because they get more money, but consumers are sure that they are getting organic products for their consumption. Yes, we appreciate that organic certification can be expensive, especially third-party certification. And third-party certification involves an independent certification body that comes to make sure that what the farmer is doing is complying with international standards. This is only necessary when farmers are exporting maybe to EU, to America, but for the local market, we have a new system called a Participatory Guarantee System, or PGS system, where farmers themselves form groups and they're able to check on one another, and this is very, very good for the local market. It has worked well in South American countries like Brazil, and we want to adopt it in Kenya because it's not expensive, and farmers are able to keep eye on one another, and consumers can be able to visit farmers, and therefore we find that the high costs required for external certification is not there when we have the PGS system. So that is what we are working on for the local markets, which is cheaper with minimal costs and also easier.